After round 9, the verdict is in. You're on AFL.com.au. Hello everyone, my name's Matt Thompson and this is the only place where you can hear firsthand from the chairman of the match review panel, Mark Fraser. Mark, welcome, busy day.
Thank you, yes.
Let's begin with West Coast's Luke Shuey. He has been charged with striking, offered a one-match ban with an early plea, as we can see here. Intentional conduct, medium impact and body contact. A two-match ban down to one with an early plea. Talk us through it, Mark.
Yes, with this incident you can see there's a strike to the stomach. Duffield goes to ground. We received a medical report from Fremantle, and from looking at the vision in that medical report we deemed that there was a strike of medium impact. You can see from the down the ground vision that Duffield stays on the ground for an extended period of time before he goes off, and we believe that sort of warranted the medium impact charge.
So that really does come into play. You take a long, hard look at how long a player is actually down on the ground. He was down for quite some time.
Yes, the video and the medical evidence go to that.
All right, the other major charge from the weekend, Essendon's David Arrakis, also charged with striking. He has a good record, can escape with a reprimand with an early plea. Reckless conduct, low impact and high contact. As we say, a one-match ban down to a reprimand with an early plea. Let's have a look at this.
Yes, we believe that with this conduct, Arrakis throws his elbow back in a reckless fashion. It contacts bug high. You throw the arm back like that, there is the chance that there's going to be high contact and you will get charged for that.
And this is a real example of where Arrakis and his good record has come into play, because obviously this really could have been a week.
Oh yes, most definitely. And the medical is clear, so it comes back as a low impact charge.
All right, let's have a look at this from the same game. Essendon's Heath Hocking under scrutiny for a potential headbutt. It had been compared to a similar incident involving Patrick Vez-Premi, who also made contact, ironically, with Thomas Bugg from the Giants. Now, why was this most recent incident on the weekend different to that other one?
With this, there's minimal impact. The medical and the video do not show a great deal of force at all. Whilst there's a very low threshold for a headbutt to warrant a charge, we believe this was below that threshold, so minor contact and the force below that required for a charge of a headbutt.
So this is deemed to be minimal, to say the very, very least?
Yes, it has to be more than negligible contact to be deemed a charge.
All right, now another incident that was looked at today, this is Sydney's Ben McGlinn making contact with an injured St Jack Stephen. Interesting talking point, because obviously contact with players who are going off the field injured is highlighted and is looked at. What can you tell us about this investigation?
Yeah, you can't make contact like that, but from the video evidence we couldn't be satisfied that the contact made by McGlinn was unreasonable, unnecessary. McGlinn and Stephen continue on the same line, and you can see from the down the ground footage that occurs. They don't deviate, or McGlinn doesn't deviate towards Stephen, so we did not believe he had a charge to answer there.
So players will definitely be looked at if they do make contact with players running off the ground, but in this case you're saying it wasn't clear. McGlinn couldn't have known necessarily what was going on.
That's right, and obviously you look at his action. If he deviated and went down to the injured player, then that would potentially be something that would put you in a more guilty sort of light, but he just continues on his single line.
Okay, let's turn our attention to Hawthorn's Sam Mitchell, cleared of striking today by the match review panel. Here's this vision.
Yeah, here Rance has the ball and he kicks the ball, and Mitchell comes in, makes contact, swinging his arm around recklessly. With close examination of the video, Mitchell made the majority of contact with his chest and the upper arm, and we didn't believe that there was enough force with that upper arm to warrant a charge of a strike. So from the video and medical evidence, there wasn't enough force.
All right, another striking charge. Bernie Vince here has been cleared of this one. This was also looked at today.
Yes, Blair is receiving a handball and Vince comes through, and actually you can see there that he spoils the ball first and then follows through and makes the high contact. Accidental contact's not a reportable offence, so because he's made a legitimate attempt to spoil a football, we deem that accidental.
Yeah, and as you said, if we look really closely, you can see the contact to the ball first. What about the blood? I mean, that doesn't look great, does it? But no. that doesn't come into it because it was accidental. Yeah,
because it was accidental. The impact side of things, so him having a cut to his head, if the actual intention's not there, so it wasn't a negligent or a reckless strike, it's just accidental.
There you go. A few wrestling offences as well, players fined from other matches, fairly standard stuff there. But we did want to highlight this huge melee from the North Melbourne-Brisbane Lions game on Sunday. 12 players charged. Now, this was instigated by North's Luke Delaney, who can accept an $1,800 fine. Another 11 players were involved as well. They can accept $1,200 fines. So in total, by our maths, a $15,000 melee. Mark, how do you go about assessing a melee?
Yeah, well, we go individually. So with each of the individual people involved in this little scuffle, we look through the video and we analyse when they came in, how long they were involved for, whether a player actively seeks involvement, and the vigour shown as well. So those things come into consideration when we charge people for a melee.
Yeah, we don't see too many of them these days quite to that extent. That was a big one on Sunday. Hey, thanks very much for your time, Mark, as always.
My pleasure, Matt.
Mark Fraser with us, the chairman of the match review panel. And that is the verdict for this week. Of course, the players sided have until 11 o'clock Tuesday morning to decide if they'd like to challenge their charges at the tribunal. You'll find a full report on all of the incidents here online. From all of us here at afl.com.au, thanks for watching.